Australia has announced a new military and humanitarian aid package for Ukraine worth $73 million. The revised aid package includes 28 armoured vehicles, 14 special operation vehicles and 28 armoured trucks. Australia has also announced that it will extend duty-free access for goods imported from Ukraine for further 12 months. Australia is one of the largest non-NATO contributor to Ukraine and has been constantly supplying them defence equipment. Australia's total contribution accounts for over $610 million ever since the Russian invasion began last year in February. More than 1,500 anti-war protesters gathered outside NATO's Ramstein air base and demanded the withdrawal of US military from German soil. The air base, which was built in 1951, is used by US forces to support NATO's military operations in Europe and Africa. The air base also plays a critical role in relying all drone signals for the United States. The Ramstein Air Base is the largest US military base overseas. It is also believed that the air base has nuclear warheads of the United States. German protesters believe that if air base is under attack, local people will be plunged into an unwanted war. At least 9 were killed and 30 injured in Russian strikes in Syrian city of Idlib. Russian jets bombarded villages and towns in the area in a major flare-up of violence in Syria's last opposition stronghold. Russian Sukhoi jets struck a vegetable market packed with people ahead of Eid. The Russian forces also bombed villages in the Jabal al-Jawiya region. This falls in the buffer zone carved out by Russia and Turkey that ended fierce fighting about 5 years ago. Moscow has grown impatient with Turkey, a major backer of the rebels, saying it is not doing enough to evict jihadists from the buffer zone. According to newly declassified US intelligence report, North Korea is likely to use its growing nuclear arsenal to coerce neighboring countries and is likely to take bigger risks with the country's conventional military forces. The National Intelligence Council report titled North Korea Scenario for Leveraging Nuclear Weapons Through 2030, dating back to January, the report was declassified on June 15th. And according to the report, North Korea will take military risks under the belief that nuclear weapons will avoid robust US or South Korean responses. Now, fighting continues between Sudan's military and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces group in the capital city of Khartoum. RSF reported that they have seized the main base of a heavily armed police unit. The RSF in a statement said it has taken full control of the large base belonging to the Central Reserve Police, southern Khartoum. Sudan descended into conflict in mid-April after months of worsening tensions exploded into open fighting between rival generals seeking to control the African nation. At the invitation of Chinese Premier, Vietnamese Prime Minister is in Beijing for an official state visit from June 25th to June 28th. This is the first official visit by Vietnamese Prime Minister to China in 7 long years. This meeting takes place at a time when both the countries are celebrating 15 years of their comprehensive strategic partnership this year. Now, during the trip, both the countries are expected to strengthen their economic and trade cooperation and also implement infrastructure projects between the two nations. During his stay, the Vietnamese Prime Minister will hold talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Authorities in Myanmar have destroyed more than $446 million worth of seized illegal drugs. Now, this comes amid a warning by UN experts of increasing production of opium and heroin in the country. Myanmar has a long history of drug production linked to political and economic turbulence fueled by decades of armed conflict. Now it is a major producer and an exporter of methamphetamine and the second largest opium and heroin producer. Just last year, authorities burnt a total of more than $642 million worth of seized drugs. The burn coincided with the UN International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. At least one person was killed and several others were injured in a roller coaster accident at an amusement park in Sweden's capital of Stockholm. Sweden's public broadcaster said that the park's jet-lined roller coaster partly derailed during a ride. Ambulances, fire trucks and a helicopter were seen arriving at the park. The police investigation is currently underway and as per reports, the 140-year-old park was closed until further notice. The Honduran government announced curfews in 2 northern cities. This was after more than 20 people were killed overnight in separate attacks amid escalating violence in the country. Heavily armed men opened fire on Saturday night in a billiards hall in a neighborhood in the northern manufacturing city of Choloma. The attack killed about 13 people and seriously wounded others. President Castro announced a 15-day curfew in Choloma between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. effective immediately. And another one erupted in San Pedro Sula effective July 4th. In the Greece election, Conservative former Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis is on the course to win a second term by a landslide victory as per exit polls. The exit polls and Mitsotakis has 44% of the vote. And on the other hand, his leftist rival Alexis Tsipras has less than 20%. Jubilant supporters of Mitsotakis gathered outside party headquarters in Athens to celebrate the party's victory in the country's second election in 5 weeks. The previous election, conducted under a proportional representation system, left him 5 seats short of a majority.
Για δεύτερη φορά